Hi, it's Sky here, and today I'm going to be making some um, salad jars as well as some rice bowls. I might even use some quinoa. We're just going to kind of depend and see here, but I'm going to be using some Black Angus Iron steaks as well as some frozen chicken that I have. And we're going to put all kinds of different toppings or additives in. Some of them are going to be more of a Southwest feel with some corn and black beans and cheese and things like that. Others I have some tzatziki sauce that I haven't tested out yet. I did not make it, obviously. I bought it at Aldi and it looks good. The ingredients look good. So I'm hoping that the flavor profile is great. And if so, then I might be able to put that in some of these as well. And I'm going to make the chicken and the steak on different combi meals because of the fact that they have to cook on different temperatures. I'm making these for lunches for my husband and I for the week. And this was not a planned or prepared thing. So, like, I'm very limited with the items that I have to put in it. But you know, that corny yet profound quote that goes something like, "Today is the first day of the rest of your life." That's so true. And so I decided, if I want to do better as far as eating things that are healthier and, when I'm searching for food or like, oh, I got to eat so quickly, but I don't have anything prepared. So then I just eat like junk. I'm not a big junk eater, but I'm also not a health eater. And I know for a fact in the past when I made my salad jars, it's just easy. You just pick it up, shake it up, and then you can either eat it right out of the jar or dump it into like a big bowl or a Tupperware, and then you have a tasty meal, and it's full. It's like very, very filling. So my husband I started off making them for him. So he used to take them for work until I think it was just like too much salad all the time for him, but he had some goals I was trying to help him reach. So I was preparing those. It was a labor of love. It was very time consuming. But now I have my Combi, and so that's going to take a lot of the time out of it. And so I'm really excited about that. So, anywho, if you want to make some with me and see some of the seasonings we're using, because seasoning is life, then go ahead and stay tuned and meal prep with me because all of us want to be healthier. Like, that's like a goal for most people. There's some people who are like, I'm at my ultimate health. I don't really need to change anything. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing. But that's unfortunately not most of us. And so I know a lot of people have goals. So let's reach them together. Let's actually save some time, some money, and make some healthy food choices for ourselves and our families. So join me. All right, so I'm back and I'm gonna start making our first combi meal. What I'm gonna do first is put the quinoa in here, and I just have some of the Simply Nature quinoa from Aldi. It's supposedly non-GMO, so hopefully they're telling the truth. And then I rinsed the quinoa in. Now I'm gonna just put it in here in the combi pan, level 1, and get that all in here. Now, I'm not a huge quinoa fan, so I do not eat it in large quantities usually. I actually haven't had quinoa in a while. This here is not quite a full cup. It's what I had left. Again, this was not a planned venture here. And I can't leave the house right now because my daughter is still asleep. So I've just got to work with what I have. But yeah, so this was like just under a cup. And then the combi sheet that shows you like what temperatures and like amounts and everything. It says to use 2 cups of quinoa and then like 3.5 cups of water. And so because it's not quite a full cup, I didn't even use the 1 3/4. That would be half. I used 1.5. So 1 cup of chicken broth because flavor, and then I filled the rest of it with the other half a cup of water. And so that is what I'm going to have with that. And we'll give this a good little stir. As always, it's important to rinse your quinoa. At least I think it's important to rinse your quinoa. Some people probably are just fine with the way it tastes. Just going to do like a drizzle of olive oil here. Some people are probably just fine with the way it tastes without it, but to me, it tastes funny if you don't rinse it. I made that mistake the very first time I ever made quinoa, and I was like, "Oh, this is what quinoa tastes like." And then I decided I hated quinoa, and then later learned it was really just because I hadn't rinsed it, hadn't prepared it properly. So, knowledge is power. So I think that's good. Done with that. And what I'm actually going to make with the quinoa is the chicken. But I'm going to actually go ahead and, I will do the chicken. Sorry. I was going to do the beef first because I want it to sit longer. Because I like my beef to be really, really, really well seasoned because I'm not a big steak person. But we'll go ahead and do the chicken because the chicken, anytime I make it in the combi, it just comes out wonderfully. Like the only time I've ever had an issue was because the chicken itself was it was three large chicken breasts stuck together because they'd been frozen in one bag, all stuck together. And so I had to start cooking it as one big chunk. And then I would, every few minutes, would kind of open up the combi and try to break it apart. But it took longer to cook than the typical 12 to 15 minutes. And so because of that, my rice was starting to overcook. So combi tray. If I wanted to do combi crisp, then I could, you see how it says add pot? It's telling you need to add the combi pan because it's not going to cook on here. So if you were to do the same thing, which I think is what I said the first time, and then I switched it. I'm wrong. Air fry. Now, like I told you, you have to turn it all the way off. It does not switch. So that's what I learned the hard way. So now I've turned it off and turned it back on, and it's on the air fry side. Then go down to bake. And if you do bake, then you can start it. And with bake, it's preheating. You can stop it, start, stop. If you want to switch it to air fry or broil, obviously high temperature. You start it, then it's going to start that. But just so you know, if you ever are in a predicament where you have, for example, too much frozen protein and it's not cooked yet, take your base out. You do not want to overcook your rice or your pasta or whatever it is, just because your meat isn't cooked yet. You're just going to need to switch gears and finish up the protein on the air fry side. Okay. So just so you know, because I've run into that now. And the whole point of this is to make sure that we're all learning together. because how do we use this? It's such a learning curve. And that's why I was really scared to use it at first because I hadn't seen how to use it. I just saw one video that was the reason that I bought it to begin with because I'm like, oh, I can make all of that at once? No way. And frozen? Take my money. So, so that's how I became this combi person and decided to buy it. I got it on sale. I bought mine on Amazon. But it was, so I'm just drizzling this. But yeah, as I've said before, my combi is my favorite kitchen appliance now. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so this is frozen chicken. I'm going to use, should have opened my seasonings. I'm going to use garlic salt, garlic powder, onion powder. On some of them, I'm going to do some ginger. On others, I'm going to do some fajita, just because I like different flavor profiles. So I'll get them like tossed separately though. So like I'm not gonna put the fajita on on the ones that are gonna have the ginger on them, because I don't know how that'll taste. Now I will say, don't be scared. You know, when you're when you're making anything with combi especially, it's gonna just really make those flavors of the seasonings, like it's just robust. Like everything tastes great. So I mean, those of you who've already been cooking with your combi probably agree. Those of you who are still on the fence about buying one, or who have bought one and haven't used it yet, I'm telling you, like the combi, the way that it cooks with the steam, everything tastes juicy and um, just full of flavor. But don't be afraid to put your seasonings on there. Seasoning is life. All right. All right. All right. If you don't have seasoning, what are you even doing? Why would you just make, you know, I'll tell you a story. My husband, love him so much. The very first meal he made me was so sweet. Um, I think I had worked. I used to work nights. And I think I had worked the night before, and like I'd woken up and I'd slept a good majority of the day, and he invited me over to his place, and he said he would cook me dinner. Aw, so sweet. It was really sweet. However, seasonings were not something that he believed in. He used what did he use? Salt and pepper. No, not even salt. He didn't use salt. He used pepper. He doesn't like salt. So he used pepper and what did he tell me? Was it a seasoned salt maybe? Seasonal. That's what he said. Seasonal. He's seasonal. Black pepper and seasonal. That was it. So he made the chicken, like baked chicken, and some mixed vegetables. Same seasoning, seasonal, and black pepper. And I feel like he made one other thing. I think it was, I don't know if it was mashed potatoes or something. Like it was one other item there, similarly devoid of flavor and seasoning. And I was just, I ate it all. And I, of course, thanked him. But boy, that was not, it's not tasty. I ate it because I was in love with him. And I was really appreciative of him making me something. I thought that was really, really sweet. But I need seasoning. And now he needs seasoning. Now he doesn't like food without the seasoning. So this one has some ginger. It smells so good. Sometimes, you just want some meat with some ginger flavoring in it. This one's huge, so I'm going to put this one in the middle so it can cook the best. I'm trying to see if it's like two together, but I really just think it's a huge one. And what seasoning do I want to use for this one? I did a couple fajita seasoning ones. I'll do a couple more because they're small. I'm going to make, maybe I should do one with some garam masala. That's an idea. One. I was going to use this one just on the steak, but this is Cavender's all-purpose Greek seasoning, and it's like mainly pepper, honestly. It's got some other seasonings in it. It's like pepper and salt, but it has some other seasonings. But the flavor overall is good. It's kind of like the other one that I like, Everglades. This one tastes really good. This one might taste really good with the tzatziki, the one that I do with the tzatziki. So, do another little one with that. I don't know what my husband's gonna like. I know what I'm gonna like. At least I assume. Yeah, this is smelling pretty good. I think I'll do this one with this too. Yeah, that's good. We are good there. So, we are on the combi cooker side. And of course, we're doing a combi meal. This is chicken, so 390 is where we want to be. And the temperature is selected if we press start. I didn't select the time, but time you want to do on chicken, you'll do 12 to 15 minutes. And yeah, I think I'll stick with the 15. Usually I like to do like 1 minute more than the minimum, but because there's so many pieces and they're so crowded together, and there's that one piece that is kind of stuck to itself, like it's like a really, really big piece, kind of looking like two pieces are together. I think we'll stick with 15. But anyway, I'm gonna wash my hands and then I'm gonna get started on the steak. All right. So actually, frozen chicken, like chicken breast, cutlets, whatever, is 15 to 18 minutes. Breaded chicken is 12 to 15 minutes. So 15 is great. That's where we want to start. Starting point. If that like large piece in the center isn't well cooked by the time we're done, then I'll just put it back in. It's easy. And then I usually like to check with the thermometer after I cook everything, just to make sure that it's well cooked. Because of the fact that I've had one instance in which I could clearly see that it wasn't cooked yet. And so I just like to play it safe until I get more experience with this. Now, after I've been using this for months and months and months, I'll probably be like, it's okay. We got it. But again, I think I said I'm not really a big steak person. So I like to make sure my steak is tender and juicy and all of the things. So I'm going to pound my steak a little bit. And then I'll season it and set it to the side while the chicken is cooking. So I don't know if this is an easy peel. I have not ever used this, but look at there's a security. I don't know. I guess I need to use a knife. Opening things is not my forte. It's really not. Because, like, some people like tear through things with their teeth and stuff like that. Nope. Not I, says Sky. Not about to do that. Because it just grosses me out. But obviously, I shouldn't say obviously. I don't think most people would tear something like this with their teeth, with the raw meat, but you never know. I like convenience, and you gotta love the way raw meat smells. Except you don't. I don't. All right. And I just use paper towel on top whenever I do these because I don't like splatter. Might be frowned upon. Now, if I use cheap paper towels, then it probably would not be well received because the paper would probably like be breaking off into it. Yuck. But as you can see, this is nice and complete. So I'm just gonna do that for these. And then flip them over, give the other side a little pound. And then I'm going to season them in the actual bowl. There's one other. Here we go. 15 minutes is starting. The steam is built up. And then now we're starting our countdown for our chicken and quinoa. This last one has quite a bit of fat on it, it looks like. This is so gross to me. You would think I would be a vegetarian the way that I'm like so grossed out by raw meats. But that's any of them. Chicken, pork, beef, whatever. I'm like, ew. But do I like the way it tastes? Mm-hmm. I could potentially go vegan. I've considered it on multiple occasions. It seems like a whole lot of work and a lot of money because I like certain things, you know, like I like cheese, for example. Big fan of cheese. The thought of not being able to have cheese besides some fake rendition of it is not comforting. It's not appealing. But I'm willing to do it for my health, you know. It's just that I've tasted some cheeses that are, you know, like vegan cheese, fake cheese, and they weren't bad, but they were expensive. So like what I can normally get for like $2.50 costs like $5 or $6 for the same amount. Not a fan of that. I like to save money, but I also want to be healthy. So now I'm going to season the steaks. Again, these were Black Angus Eye of Round steaks. I'm going to start with some garlic salt. If I'm making anything that's not sweet, it's going to have garlic and onion, black pepper. Like those are the go-tos for me. I might use garlic salt and forego regular salt, or I might put both. It really just kind of depends on what I'm making and how much I use. But it's funny because my middle son does not like onions, and he's always like, ew, onions. And I'm like, honey, you love onions. Everything mommy makes has onion on it. It's just powdered. What? I don't know. He thinks onion is spicy for some reason, which is odd because usually we use white onion, either sweet Vidalia or like white onion. We don't even use red onion that often. So, not really sure. And some allspice. Low on allspice. Oh no. I've been using it a lot lately. It tastes so good. It really just ups the ante on certain dishes. Yeah, that smells great. All right. And maybe this one I'll just leave. Um, put some fajita on this one. So that's why I'm saying, like, you're making the same thing, but you're seasoning it differently, so it's making a different thing. You know what I mean? It's like it's gonna change the flavor and the profile of whatever it is that you're eating. Put some ginger on the one with allspice. All right. And then I've got to put a little bit of oil on these. 5 minutes left. Gonna let these rest in here like this. And then for the next one, When I cook the steak, I'm going to use rice instead of quinoa. So I'm just doing the quinoa, small amount of quinoa with the chicken. And the reason I did the quinoa with the chicken is because, as I said, I had a smaller amount of the quinoa, which meant it was going to be a smaller amount of water, which meant it was going to make less steam. So I wanted to make sure that my beef, my steak, stayed nice and tender. And I figured that it would be an increased chance of that if I was making it with something that was going to be creating more steam while it's cooking, i.e., more rice, more water. So, anywho, only got 4 minutes left on this, and I'm gonna go wash my hands, let this sit, and I'm gonna grab out some of the salads and things like that because I put them back in the refrigerator. So that way I can start making the bowls and the jars. But anyway, meal prepping, getting it all done in a quick period of time. Here we go. And all right, open that up and see what we have here. I'm going to take the quinoa out first. Okay. Quinoa. Chicken looks delicious. These little tiny piece. Oh, that is so good. That's so good. Reminds me of my grandma Edith. That's good, really, really good. Good seasoning. My grandma Edith, I didn't like baked chicken as a kid, like baked chicken on a bone. But whenever I went to her house, that's what I had. Unless she would make me some hot dogs. Oh yeah, we're fully cooked. I'm not really concerned about the other ones. I'm sure they are. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So the pan does start to cool down rather quickly, but because I was so close, or I shouldn't say so close, but because it so quickly registered as fully cooked, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove these so that they can start to cool down. Rest. Oh my goodness. That is so good, so flavorful. Now, am I going to remember which ones had which seasoning? No. I know the big one. And that's really all that matters. But the thing is, I can smell them. And these tiny little pieces. I'm going to let the pan cool a little bit. So good. I'm going to let the pan cool a little bit. And then I'll wash it. And I'll do the steak. So, see, it's actually cooled down quite a bit, but if I'm holding it for a long time, it might burn me. So let's not go there. Not sure how well you can see that, but quinoa, nicely cooked. Just gonna put it back in here because again, I'm about to turn around and make rice in this pan. So I wanna get these pans emptied and cooled down so that I can wash them and start my next round. So I think I'm gonna cut, while I wait for these to cool down, I'm gonna cut up some bell pepper and onion and then kind of just like lay them underneath the steak so that the drippings from the steak can help like get them flavorful and whatnot. And then that'll give us just some extra veggies to put in, more so in the bowls than in the salads. And then we'll start back up after that. The healthy can be fun. Healthy can be delicious. You just have to prepare it, and it's time consuming. And with my 4 kids and my busy schedule and working full time, it's just a lot to try to do on an everyday basis. So right now, my sons are actually not here. They had a sleepover at Papa's house, my dad's house. So my daughter's the only one here. She's still asleep, but that's her MO. She's a night owl and she sleeps in late, which is fine for me right now. But she's going to be starting school later this year, next school year. So we're going to have to, my daughter's more on the picky side. She's the only girl. She's the youngest. She's gotten her way a lot because daddy did not believe in disciplining girls. Thinks that's mommy's job only. And so he now sees the error in his ways, but it's a little late. So now we're having to remind her of her actions. So I'm going to wash those pans. I'm sure they're cool enough now to wash. Then I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil over these in the pan, get the steaks in there, and rinse my rice, get that in the pan. I don't think I'm going to really season it. Pretty sure I'm not going to really season the rice. Maybe mild seasonings, but not like I do if I'm making like burritos or tacos or something like that. It's going to be just very basic seasoning if I choose to season it. And then we're going to do our last round of the cook. I've got a block of cheese in the freezer. I think that's extra sharp cheddar. Put that in the freezer just a few minutes ago so that I can like shred that. And then we'll have the freshly shredded cheese to put into the jars for the salads. And I'll go through and see which dressings I have and see if we're going to do some Southwest ones, open up some corn and some black beans and things like that. I'm not going to do boiled eggs today, like hard-boiled eggs. Love them, especially in a salad, but just don't feel like doing all of that today. This is more variety than before. Usually all we had was chicken and bacon. I did the bacon in the oven to get it nice and crispy. But I'm not doing bacon today. We're going to have beef. So we'll have chicken and we'll have beef. And then it's not going to be all salads either. So there's still variety because we're going to have our little rice and veggies with protein. And then we'll have our salad and protein. So we'll see how this works. This is on a whim. First time doing it with the Combi, but I think that the Combi is the perfect kitchen appliance to really, really help with meal prepping. And next time that I do this, it'll probably actually be planned. So I'll have like everything that I could need and want for these instead of just like improvising. And I think it's going to be ridiculously great and really, really help me stay on track and try to reach some of those goals that I have for eating healthier and getting more vegetables in and starting to go work out. I mean, I'm a person, I don't think you need the gym to work out. You can work out and get a very effective workout at home. But my husband has a family gym membership for us all that he started a few months ago. And it's like, why not? I should go. So I think if I already have some meals planned out and things like that, it'll just make everything much better. And generally, for me, when I'm eating better, then I am more inclined to work out and vice versa. When I'm working out, I want to eat better because I'm like, I don't want to have wasted that workout. So I think if I just start putting it all together, then I will do better in overall, in total. So are you guys like that too? Is there anyone else that's like, oh, I just worked out, let me eat healthy because I don't want to have wasted my workout? Or, oh, I'm eating really, really healthy. I should just go ahead and work out because the combination of the two will help me like lose weight or tone up or whatever your goals are. I know that's for me. So anyway, there's this tiny little piece of chicken calling my name and it's like ridiculously good. I'm gonna finish up. All right, so now I'm going to make round two. So I have already washed my rice in my little rice rinser. And this is just 1 cup of jasmine rice. As I said, I'm only doing 1 cup because I already have some leftover rice from a meal I made previously. I made some burritos, and like all the kids even ate them as burritos. So we didn't use as much rice. You use more rice, of course, when you make like a burrito bowl than you would if you're putting it into a burrito. So, anywho, I have rice left over from that. It's going to be more so the rice that I consume, along with the quinoa. So it doesn't look like much because I'm so used to cooking 2 cups whenever I make it. But I'm only going to mildly season it, like just some garlic and some onion powder. And then a little bit of garlic salt, and just a little bit. And then I'll do drizzle olive oil. And give that a good stir. Mix it all around. I find that this step is pretty important also because if you don't stir it around, sometimes there's like pieces of rice that are sticking up. I've had some people tell me that that their rice was overdone. Some people's rice burned. But if it's submerged in water, it's not going to burn. So that's what you're literally doing twice the amount of water as you are the rice. Now it's liquid measure versus solid, solid measure. It's pretty good. And one time I did it, made my rice, and I stirred it up, but there was so much seasoning in it that I had like so much seasoning just on top. So I mean, of course, once I mixed it in, it was fine. But it looks funny when it first came out because it was just like covered in seasoning on top. But it tasted great. Oh, my daughter's awake. I hear footsteps above me. All right, so as I said, I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil on. I helped to open it on the pan, and I'm really just gonna like make sure that I get that kind of covered. And I'm only doing this because I'm gonna put the vegetables as a bed. So I don't even know if this is necessary. I just don't want it to burn. Just dropping stuff today. So I'm just gonna kind of like rub it all into the oil that's there. Give it a tiny little drizzle on top. As I said, I am going to season it mildly. I don't know why I haven't been using my fresh garlic lately. There's not really any good excuse because I have cloves of garlic that I could be chopping, dicing, but I haven't been. Maybe next time. And garlic powder. I'm not really going to use anything except garlic powder and what's the word? Pepper. Because they already have onions. So I'm just going to use some black pepper. I don't want to over season it. I did season the beef pretty nicely. So it should be good. And then, hi, sweetheart. How are you? Go potty first, okay? All right. The boys are still at Papa's house. No, they're not here yet. All right. Bring those. I'm going to try to bring these even more. I want to try to bunch the peppers because I made the peppers once with, I don't remember, I think chicken. And it was great, but the peppers and onions are on the side. They started cooking, overcooking like too fast before the meat was done, before the time was up. And so I'm just trying to minimize that and let the juices kind of drip down on that. So that's what the goal is. We'll see. All right. So lovely. We will get this in there. And then this is beef. So beef cooks on 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. Turn her back on. We're on Combi cooker, 390. So we're going to move the temperature down. Oopsie. Going to move the temperature down up here to 350. And then our time is going to be 12 to 15 minutes. So we're going to do 13. We're going to do 12. We can always add more. We're going to start with the 12, the minimum. I lie. We're going to do 13. My husband loves his all meat, but especially his beef has to be well done. I've never made steak in here, so. But if you can use fruit, I'm going to do 12. And then I'll add more if I need more. Because I don't want my meat to be super dry. I can always take it out if it's like not fully cooked, then I can put it back in for both of us. But if it's cooked, but it's just not dry yet, I can add some more time for his and just put his back in. As I said, switch it over to the air fry side and put it on like bake or broil or something just to give him some more time. So anyway, it's on 350, 12 minutes, and we're going to press start. Let that steam build up. Meanwhile, I'm going to get my cheese shredded and start looking at my dressing options, my salad dressing options, and see what I'm going to start putting in there. And then I'm going to start prepping my bowls or not my bowls, my jars for the actual salad. The bowls are going to have, like I said, the quinoa and the rice, but the jars are going to have just salad. So then we'll be done, and we'll have chicken and beef and different kinds of options. So we'll have things to eat throughout the week for lunch without having to spend money out for lunch. So it's a huge savings. But then also without having to like try to figure out something to prepare or eat junk. So that's what we're going to do now. We'll let that build and I'll be back. All right, so the steaks just finished. All right, now get the combi pan out first. Rice looks like normal, like it normally does. See about these steaks. All right. So we like them medium. I'm sorry. We like them well done. And so let's check and see. Well done, I think it's 170. Yeah. So what do we have here? Okay, we're good there. Good there. And good there. So they're all over, which my husband will be delighted by. But because they're over, I do want to, for my purposes, want to get them off of their tray. So let me transfer them like I did the chicken. Off. You see the brown? It smells so good. It smells so good. I'm not going to use this in here. I know that drives some people crazy. I am Going to use this, give my rice a good stir. Looks great. Okay. Here, I can show you that. In case you can't really see it. So, rice looks great. I'm going to put a little bit of butter in there so that it can melt while it's still hot. For my husband, mainly. Because, like I said, I'm going to be really eating more of the other rice that's already seasoned up. It has black beans and sazon and some other things in there. I think I made that one with some chicken broth as well. But this will be really, really good in the bowls because now we've got some nice soft cooked bell peppers and onions. And as you'll see, like some of them got a little, like, I don't want to say burnt. They're kind of caramelized because they're not really burnt. That's what I thought the first time saw them like this, but then I tasted them. They don't taste burnt at all. They're just more of a caramelized. But this will be great. It smells great. I know already it's going to taste great. We're going to put it with these rice and quinoa bowls. And I'm not going to bore you guys with my preparation of everything, but I will say that I'm going to use different cheeses. So I think I still have some feta cheese. So in some of the ones, I'm going to put some feta cheese. And again, I'm going to try that tzatziki sauce, see how that tastes. And I don't think I have any Greek dressing here right now. So we're not going to go that route. But nonetheless, once they're all prepared, I can like show you pictures and show you how like they came out and how many I was able to create with the materials that I had here. That's all of them. So delightful. I'm gonna let the steaks rest a little bit before I slice them up and have them ready for our consumption. But anywho, that's all for now. I'll show you the finished product shortly. Okay, so all done with all of the meal prepping. This is heavy. This is my husband's rice with the cooked bell peppers and onions and broccoli, and that's some of the chicken. And then the same thing, except it's steak instead of chicken. And then I have 2 salads for him. This is some ranch dressing with hot sauce, and then cheese and tomatoes and lettuce. This one's some honey mustard with basically the same things. And then the chicken's in there as well. And then in all of mine, there's chicken as well with some cheese. And I only have a 3 cheese Parmesan one in here. And so mine has quinoa mostly and a little bit of rice. And I have steak in both of mine with some broccoli as well. So all in all, we made 4 of the rice and quinoa bowls and 5 salad jars. So it's really, really quick to do. So much food for the week. And then we both have lunch, so we don't have to buy out. And got it all done this morning. So anywho, Combi is my favorite for doing any of these meal preps. This is the first time making any meal preps in here. I haven't done meal prepping in a long time, but I definitely will do it more often because it's so much easier. So anyway, try it out. Let me know what meals you're making with yours. And I'm probably going to do some salmon next time as well. Salad jars are always going to be a thing. And then also the quinoa tastes a lot better this time than the last time I made it. So I might be incorporating that into some more as well. Anyhow, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.